So we've just finished some research on hydroponics, Giovanni, and it's a very interesting sector. Hydroponics is the cultivation of plants in the absence of soil, normally using a water or nutrient solution. And it's brilliant because it evades some of the concerns with the consumer right now about the production of food. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it definitely alleviates some of the concerns that we've been having lately, or some growing concerns that people have been having. And it certainly does this by removing the physical difficulties that are associated with the production of food, so that the soil required. And this is especially important in a metropolitan context where soil is a scarce resource, and also in the context where we have increasing soil degradation, climate change, and pesticide use problems, unsustainable pesticide use problems. And I mean, when I say unsustainable, I essentially mean also in terms of human health, in that we can't continue to use these for our own good, but also for the good of the soil. Pesticide use is a great factor of chemical erosion, and also a big factor of soil degradation because of it.
Certainly, and it also evades that carbon footprint element, which is not only becoming an environmental issue, but also a mental issue for a lot of the consumers, being more conscious about what's going on in the world right now. How about you discuss what's happening in the industry, on a larger scale right now? There's a very interesting thing happening in Singapore.
Yes, there is. Firstly, in industry, one of the main concerns has been the feasibility of hydroponics as large scale. Can it compete with traditional agriculture? And normally the problem would be no, because it is more capital intensive, but in metropolitan areas and in areas where there is high urban population, again scarcity of land, such as Singapore, the case of Sky Green Farms, which produces hydroponic products using 9-meter tall towers that use a patented water pump system. And they essentially consume the equivalent of one light bulb per tower to produce.
Very, very low energy.
Yeah, and because of that, they can do it at very competitive prices. I mean, they essentially only charge 10 to 20 cents above what traditional methods can produce, and they're doing very well. They're not only feasible but also competitive. And they're essentially looking for investors to quadruple their production in Singapore. 2 tons a day as opposed to 500, or half a ton a day until now.
And at the home scale, there are two companies which really caught our eye. One of which was Root, which creates a home-growing product, which is almost like a very, very, very smart vase, which uses software to connect to your iPhone. It can monitor your plants, and it has the personal experience where you can have fun with it, you can grow your own plants, but also it has the trust that you know that what's going on in the plants that you grow. But another one which caught our eye was Edenworks, which is based in Long Island, New York. And it's brilliant because it uses aquaponics, which is a subset of hydroponics, and it involves using fish. So it has fish, and you take the water from a fish tank, and there are bacteria near the plants, and it ingests the fish waste and uses those natural nutrients to feed the plants. And then any waste that goes off, it gets pumped back into the fish tank. What's really interesting is that this allows for such natural areas because the pesticides cannot possibly be used there because it would just harm the fish. So their current demand-driven business model is that they will now sell their produce to 5-star restaurants in the area. There are glowing reviews from there, and they can do this because the natural area allows them to have such brilliant, flavourful food. And that's interesting, and it brings the idea that can the older players really keep up with this new innovative technology, both in the home and in the larger demand-driven business model, where they use such new technology to connect to iPhones, etc., whereas some of the old ones you can't think are just going to slow down.
There are older, even if hydroponics is a very recent thing, there are older players, and one of the concerns that they might be having now is with all this coming innovation with Roots, with Sky Green Farms, and so on. Will they be able to keep up with this kind of stuff? It's a good question to ask.
We'll have to look for it in the future.